Everyone, welcome to Spirit Guide Chat. My name is Jake, and thank you for all those who waited patiently until I returned from my vacation. It was wonderful. I went to Alaska on an Alaskan cruise and went out to Seattle and visited Canada briefly. So it was a wonderful cruise. However, as you probably can tell from my voice, I came back with a little cold. I'm fine. There was a lot of kids on the ship, so uh, they're usually the culprits of colds and such like that, with a lot of other children on board. But I'm here. I told you I would be here. So if you just bear with me with my nasalness and my cough, I appreciate it. And with that, if you please like, subscribe, and comment with any questions you would like me to ask in the future readings. I much appreciate your subscriptions and comments. So, with that being said, there's some catch-ups that I need to do, catching up on things. The one thing I want to look at is to check in to see where the energy is with the midterms. We're already at the end of August. Can you believe it? I mean, it's going to be, the fall's going to be inching its way, and of course, then we go into the holiday season, right? So let's take a look at the midterms to see if the first spirit, if the Democrats will take control of the House, see where that is at the moment. And just remember that when we're doing checks like this, like, first of all, I'm only human. I am getting the messages from spirit, and sometimes my translation can be wrong. Also, you have to take in consideration the energy that's going on at the moment. Free will does play a role in delays in timing and scopes of changes and things like that. That's too many cards. That's 3 cards. I thought that was only maybe a couple. So again, we're looking at if Dems will take control of the House in the midterms, and we will be sworn in come January and have the control. All right, so we're beginning right now. What's going on is the Emperor's card. There's, growth happening, probably not as quick as we want to be in regards to the Democrats finally getting their groove. There are some Democrats that are getting their groove. The problem is this: the 5 of swords crossing us. I think we've already seen this. If you look at the DSA, the Democrat Socialists of America, the progressive side of the Democrats versus the corporate traditional Democrats, there is that conflict going in there. So there is going to be growth. They will get their stuff together. What I'm feeling, it's just taking too long with this infighting. There is going to be mental clarity with the Ace of Swords. I think people will come together. It's like, hey, we got to work together if we want to beat the status quo of what's going on right now. We can't be doing all this infighting. We're in the midst of, this is in the recent past, Tower has already happened. We're in the midst of this change. You probably already feel this. I mean, I feel this in my gut that things are being weird, extra weird, and we're going through this change. Because what's crowning this reading is justice, the rebalancing of things, cause and effect of things. They are going to make progress in the near future. They're going to get their stuff together, okay, to say it nicely. There will be some happy surprises coming along. I just feel that there's going to be Republicans flubbing up. There's going to be scandals coming up. I just feel that that's what we're getting. Because what's everybody's feeling, the voters in general, is this financial loss with the 5 of Pentacles. People are feeling the financial pinch. And in the hopes and fears, we got the Ace of Wands. Hope, this is what the Democrats are wanting, this new opportunity for growth. And then we get the Chariot card, which is a yes card that they will have control of the House. Okay? Excuse me. All right, next we're going to look at the Senate prospects. I just feel that as time moves along, the Senate prospects have improved in regards to Democrats having a chance. That's my gut feeling, but we'll see what the cards say. Oh, I hope everyone's doing well out there. I know it's been the weather situation in the Midwest. I live in Indiana. It was before I left on vacation. We had some major rains. I've even experienced some flooding in my area. Even had water in my basement. Thank God that I was home during that time and not away from out of town. I'll let that water sit there. But I'm all right. My things are all right. Most people have been all right in my area. And then now we have heat. So fun times. But hopefully you all are staying safe. And if you are in one of the hot areas, to stay hydrated and stay cool as possible. All right, Spirit. Let's get back to control of the Senate. Control of the Senate. Will the Dems control the Senate after the midterms and get sworn in January? That one wants to come out. This is a good thing. The Fool card came out. The new beginnings. We'll set that aside. There are people coming together right now. Two of Cups. So the one thing we have to keep in mind: gerrymandering is going to affect the House more than the Senate, because you can't gerrymander a state. That's not how it can happen. That's why the House, you have to watch with House races versus the Senate, because these are statewide races. There is the Three of Swords here crossing this, so there are um, some hurt among these parties. I think this again is explaining the Democrats, the split among them, but I feel like the Senate is doing a better job in working together with some of these, because there's fewer of them in the Senate side. The one that I can think of, which really is, well, there's two actually. Abdul Al Sayed in Michigan, but he is not DSA. He says he's not DSA, but DSA claims it. The other one is Angie, is it Dixon? Dixon out of Florida, who made that surprise primary win against Alex Vindman. So there's a couple candidates there, DSA claimed candidates in Senate races. So there's a lot less of an effect compared to the House. But see, what did I just say? That they're in a better spot with the Nine of Cups. They're very content where they are. In the past, the Nine of Swords, there have been a big push because if you remember, the Democrats didn't have as strong of a chance to flip the Senate until recently. You have the Page of Pentacles crowning this reading, manifesting, especially the fundraising aspect for it, because you're talking about district races versus a whole statewide race, which in some states is going to be very expensive. The Queen of Cups coming in the near future. There is going to, if I think correctly, I think there are quite a few female candidates will do well, Democrat candidates. There's also going to be showing more compassion in regards to offering towards the voters' hard work and the value of their dollar. And again, from the outside, the Ace of Pentacles, kind of the outside environment on the Senate. This is their opportunity. This is the time for senators the Democrats to actually have the opportunity to take over. They're looking at the long-term view, and very good cards, especially when this is a religious connotation, that this is their time for Democrats to actually have the control of the Senate. So, very good cards for both House and Senate. Um, let's switch to Well, I got some international questions here. This is going back a couple weeks ago in regards to the whole Trump switching, the orange one, switching planes incident in Turkey. And I want to see, Spirit, if this is meaning that was a practice run on him possibly leaving the country in the future. If things get too hot for him, politically speaking, legally speaking, for entertainment purposes only, right? That was this a trial run for him to possibly leave the country by stating that there was a threat? Again, entertainment purposes only. Was this a dry run for an opportunity for him to possibly escape the country in the future? So presently, there are a lot of negativity. He knows there's a lot of things that is about that could possibly happen, and he's not for sure how to move forward. What they're trying to figure out is the plan B, is the way to get out of this, all these sports. He wants to make sure there's financial security for him and his family with the Ten of Pentacles. Um, in the past, the natural leader with the King of Wands, he was able to overcome a lot of these challenges, but now there's just too many of them. He knows. So the Nine of Pentacles is crowning this reading. I feel like this is a plan that was given to him. This is a plan. What coming up in the near future? This is what I predicted many, many times. There's something from Russia. Putin's going to reveal something, and here's the Four of Cups with this. He doesn't. He's trying to focus on other things when this is his way out. I think. I think this is related to Putin. He is going to offer Trump a way out from him releasing this information, but he doesn't want to. This is probably where it comes out. Here's the Justice card coming from the outside environment, across from the Russia card. So I feel like this is Putin's way to get back at him. The fear is the financial loss. He is trying to protect, the orange one's trying to protect it. And this is very much so a way, plan, a dry run for him to leave. And there are people who know what I'm feeling. There are a select few, but they're keeping their plans close about ways of escaping. Entertainment purposes only. So that was my gut feeling, and the cards are saying that too. And that probably explains why he left most of the people on the other plane. And I want to say the only people that went with him was Hegseth and Natalie Hart. So yeah, fun times, right? Oop. So I want to look at next. I haven't done a reading on this in a while about if the U.S. is planning to send ground troops to Cuba by the end of this year. Let's take a look. Will the U.S. send ground troops to Cuba by the end of this year? Remember, there's still a blockade in Cuba. They are not getting fuel. Yeah, it's really bad down there. And if I didn't say it, we are putting this blockade around Cuba. So here's the sudden change that's happening. I think that's happening right now. They're making plans. The moon card is under there. It's just, there's a lot of confusion on what to do with this. Here we go. They're talking about right now the Three of Pentacles. There's collaboration going on. Excuse me. In the past, they're trying to figure out what to do in regards to the Cuban situation. They're being very foolish. In this one, it can, the Fool card can mean new beginnings, but I feel like they're just being foolish on how to go about it, which, surprise, surprise, right? Um, the concern is, I think if they do this, is a lot of families here in the United States are going to be very worried about their families in Cuba. I believe that they're going to make proposals to Cuba. Yeah, they might initially use the threat of bringing ground troops in order to get what they want, the administration. But I think they're going to be bullies. I have a feeling that they may bring some ground troops here. There are people who are not wanting to do this in the administration. But I think ultimately it's going to be a no. I think they're going to, there's going to be a much anxiety over this. And there's just going to, in the Page of Pentacles, I think there's going to be some kind of financial deal or dealing, a close deal, trade deal or something with Cuba to give the U.S. bigger control there. And just bullying them in order to get this blockade, so they can get this blockade to be ended and they can go on with their lives. And again, I apologize for my cold, but I want to make sure I come on today. Next week, it's not that bad of a cold. It just sounds really bad. I think next week will be much, much clearer. All right, let's look at the future of Canada and U.S. relations. As we know right now, with these tariffs, it's just making things worse between Canada and the United States. These back and forth, and now today, I'm filming this on Thursday till 27th of August. An executive order to rename Lake Ontario Lake America, like, WTF, like, why are we worrying about stupid things like this? This is, again, another project to keep him busy and out of other people's hairs in administration. Just like the ballroom, just like beautification projects in DC, it's another distraction for him, right? So let's take a look. Future of U.S. and Canada relations. There's one. All right. I feel like eventually we will get to this spot. Because we have a long history of having good relations with them, and I want to say too, this won't be till when the Dems are in control. So there's that. Here's the endings card. This is where we're at. We're ending where things how they used to be will never be the same, right? The star card's the crossing. There's a struggle. That's the obstacle. There's a struggle on both sides of lack of faith. Americans here who really love Canada. Hey, I was at Canada for the first time. Just recently. It was beautiful there. I love Canada where I was at. It was British Columbia. So, and on the other side too, there's a lot of Canadians who love the United States, just not the government. So. There's the betrayals on the foundation, not surprising with the Seven of Swords. The choices, the Seven of Cups in the past, they were trying. The Canadian government has been trying to find a way to work with us, with this current administration. But they're done, There's soul searching going on with the Hermit card. I think there will be new proposals in the future with the Knight of Cups. And there's going to be some apathy. I think probably a little bit on both sides in regards to that with the Four of Cups. They're going to, with the High Priestess card, they, as in Canada, what I'm getting, know there's some kind of ulterior motive with this current government in regards to proposals and things like that. The hopeful is that there will be announcements of new agreements in the future. And in the end, what I feel is that with the Five of Cups, there will be definitely loss on both sides in regards to what our relationship used to be. But I want to remind, in this card, there's still two cups remaining. So that's why eventually the Ten of Cups will be here with the happy family. We'll eventually get to a more happier relations with Canada, but it's going to take some time. And with that Ten of Cups, it's a slow moving card. I wouldn't even be surprised it's going to be over the next 10 years. That's how long uh, it'll take to clean up this mess. And there will be some countries that will reconcile quicker than others. And I'm not saying the Canadians won't, but to get to some level where we used to be, it's going to be a while. Because it was since we're neighbors, I feel like they feel very betrayed. All right, so I had a different question, but I think this is something that happened recently. There was a secret meeting between Minority Speaker Hakeem Jeffries and Jared Kushner and the Orange One, and I kind of want to take a look at what this meeting was about. Because excuse me, I'm gonna have to pause it for a second because I need to wipe my nose. I can make it through it all without doing that, but of course it's the evening time and you know how that goes. Anyways, what I was talking about is the secret meeting between Hakeem Jeffries, Jared Kushner, and the Orange One. My sense is that the Orange One and even Kushner knows that midterms are not going to be in their favor, hence why they want to get Jeffries in. The odd thing is that nobody else in regards to this Democratic leadership was invited, so it gets a little fishy when it comes to that. So let's see, Spirit, what was that meeting about? Here we go, right now. First of all, this is the Eight of Pentacles. This is the Scorpio card, so it's about the elections, about possibly working together, working on things financially. Not surprising. The Nine of Pentacles in here, and crossed by the hidden secret of something to do with money. So this is a little disappointing. Already we're seeing about. They want to make some announcements in regards to if the Democrats take over to be working together. In the past, they had hope. So I feel like they didn't do this meeting until recently where they feel like it's not going to go in their way. They want to start fresh with the Democrats. But here we're going to go. Coming soon, the Tower. There's going to be a sudden change. There's going to be new ideas in a lot of younger people in regards out with old. We've already seen it in the primaries. They know the Ten of Swords is coming for them. And the Three of Swords is in their fear. And what I'm getting is that they are, I think, discussing boundaries in regards to what they are, but I think there's the financial aspect to this. Hopefully it's not what I'm thinking, entertainment purposes only. They're exchanging money based on getting certain things done with Jeffries. I don't think Jeffries has really talked fully the truth about what the meeting was about, but it was definitely about them not knowing that the election's not going to go their way and possibly money to get what they want. Now, the problem is, and I don't remember to be honest, I don't remember if I've done this on camera. I've always seen consistently there's going to be issues with Jeffries getting the leadership, the speakership, if the Dems win the House. So let's see, especially with this meeting, the secret meeting, will this jeopardize Hakeem Jeffries getting the speakership if the Dems control the Senate, or excuse me, the House, after the midterms. Will this secret meeting jeopardize his him getting the speakership when the Dems control the House? All right. Here's what I feel like the proposal of him getting the speakership, the cup. What's crossing by the Queen of Pentacles. I'm thinking there's going to be conflict of interest. I think they feel to some Democrats that he did the secret meeting. He feels like he's the Nine of Pentacles, that he's doing the job of protecting them. But here's what's happening in the past, the recent past. The Moon card, things are going to come out of the surface. I feel like more details about this meeting may come out, and this will cause some Democrats to hesitate voting for Hakeem Jeffries. There will be a push to make him a speaker with the Knight of Wands. But see, here's what I'm talking about, the Tower card. There's something's going to happen where he's going to have to stand up for himself, the Knight of Wands. He's going to be a little bit smug in regards to the Nine of Cups, in regards to that. But he might end up with the Five of Pentacles. And here's the surprise. So he, to answer this question, this is a no card. But with the loss of faith, if he does get the speakership, it's going to damage the confidence among the Democrats. Because if he gets it, it's going to be a squeak. Or maybe it will take multiple votes. But there won't be much confidence in his leadership because of this meeting and details coming out later. So we'll check on this as we go further out into this year. All right. Well, let's close out with a message for everyone out there and see what Spirit would like us to know as a collective. So, Spirit, please, we would like a message for the general collective. Again, a nice reminder for everyone, if you can hit that subscribe button and a like and any comments on questions you would like me to cover in a future read. Typically do this every Thursday, so your support is much appreciated, especially today with Michael. So, general message for the collective. We may feel, I got an upside down one. Feel disappointed at the current moment, right? We may feel like we're disappointed about how things are going on with the world. I'm not talking beyond politics, about climate, weather going with climate, our finances, things like that. Again, remember, we do have two cups here, so we have to remember what we have, right? The obstacle is apathy. Because of this disappointment, we may feel apathetic about, nothing I will do will change, yada yada. That's a false belief that's running in your head because you feel disappointment. And maybe even a little grief and things are not like how they normally are, right? But we have to listen to messages from Spirit with the Page of Cups. Let's get it out, Jake. We do get messages from Spirit to remind us of what we should have, which should be grateful for, the gratitude we have for the things that we do have. Especially in the past, we've been much happier in regards to how things were going with the Nine of Pentacles. But it's a reminder we need to continue working on things for our own good, spiritually, financially, and things like that. Reminder, we can make the changes, but we have to put in the work with the Eight of Pentacles. We can't just sit here and just expect things to come to us, right? We need to let go. With the Hangman, it's going to take a while to get back to get to a new normalcy. So we need to let go of that idea, I want things to go back to normal, because it's not going to go back to the way things used to be. It will be a new normal. We just need to take action. Again, reminding us that we have the power to make changes. And manifesting what we want with the Page of Pentacles, manifesting what we can do to make changes. We fear, this is what we fear. We feel betrayed. We fear if we start doing actions that we will be betrayed. But again, false belief to prevent us from doing anything positive. If we do actions, we take actions, and it doesn't have to be big actions, it can be small little things to make changes. This is the outcome card, which is a strong outcome card that things will turn out all right with the Ace of Pentacles. This will be a new opportunity, a new things that we will sit in a much better spot than what we are right now. And I think that's a beautiful message from Spirit and a nice reminder. With that, thank you again for joining me. I will be back next week. Again, like, subscribe, and comment. Until then, bye-bye.